It's time now for Countywide, a special presentation of Yavapai Broadcasting News. Join News Director Paul David and News Editor Philip Catafamo as they talk with our community's leaders, newsmakers, and people in the know. You'll hear about the hot topics in Yavapai County that affect all our lives. And now here's today's Countywide.
Welcome to Countywide. I'm Paul David. As always, it is great to have you in studio with us today. We're sitting down with Tony Merriman from the National Weather Service in Flagstaff to recap our spring and summer and look ahead at the fall and winter. It's a tradition. Hello, Tony. Welcome back.
Hi. Good morning, Paul.
How you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I am doing well also. All right, let's get into it. Weather.gov is the website you want. That's where I go for the weather forecast every single day, Monday through Friday. Let's look back at spring and summer. How were they for us?
Well, it was definitely another one for the record books. We were looking at much drier than normal. And in a few spots, it was the driest spring and summer on record, especially in the Prescott area. Flagstaff, it was our second driest monsoon season this year. And so for the last 2 years, it's been a pretty dismal monsoon season for northern Arizona.
And I guess the next thing I want to get into, and we talked about this with you guys throughout the summer, throughout the monsoon season, just what happened that kept it from actually happening for us?
Sure. So what happened last year, we had kind of a persistent trough just to our west. So we were kind of in more of a spring-like pattern in 2019 during that monsoon season. And then this monsoon season in 2020, that high pressure that normally sets up over northern Texas and New Mexico that draws up that moisture, it actually set up farther west directly over Arizona. So all of the moisture was shunted just to our south. And so it was basically Mexico had all of the moisture this year, and we got none.
So it all stayed south. Basically, that high pressure, it sits atop of us and pushes that low pressure down, that monsoon moisture down. So did Southern Arizona do okay this year? It seemed like they were doing better than we were.
Relatively speaking, they did better than us, but it was still pretty bad. I mean, they're still in an extreme drought right now, as is Yavapai County. So overall for the state, it was a pretty bad year.
So Yavapai County is in extreme drought right now, but Coconino County is not.
Not necessarily. We're both there are pockets of extreme drought in all of Arizona right now. And, it's just kind of getting worse. So hopefully, we can get some relief here pretty soon.
Do you have some examples of what a normal monsoon is, say, for the Flagstaff region, as opposed to what this year's was like, and maybe Prescott as well? I know Cottonwood really doesn't have a weather center in it. You guys get your information about the Verde Valley from Tuzagut National Monument has the weather center that you guys use there. But if you've got some examples, that would be really great. We could talk about, because we've got some graphics coming up on the screen as well. So if you're listening to the show and not watching the show, you may want to come back and watch it, because Tony did provide us with some graphics to kind of show some of the things I'm asking about.
Sure. Yeah. So in Prescott, normally during monsoon season, you get about 7 inches of rain in Prescott, but this year there was only 2 inches of rain, which was the driest on record for the Prescott area. Flagstaff, we also get around 7 inches of rain during monsoon season, but this year we got about 1 3/4 of an inch of rain. And in 2019, Flagstaff got 1 1/4. So again, it's just all around, all across northern Arizona, Page, Show Low, Payson. One of the driest monsoon seasons on record that we have, if not the driest monsoon season that we had.
I find that so unusual that this year's monsoon was actually just a bit better than last year's. It seemed like it may have been worse than last year's.
Right. Well, and that's the nature of monsoon season thunderstorms, right? It just depends where these storms set up and drop their rain. So, at least for Flagstaff area, we were able to get a 1/2 inch more than last year. But again, for the Prescott area, Prescott got about 1.5 inches less than this time last year.
Does this tell you anything about our area? Heat-related, global warming, any of that stuff? To have 2 years in a row like this, is this uncommon or normal?
So it's pretty tough to try to extrapolate any kind of seasonal record with any kind of large-scale climate change or anything like that. But one thing, what we typically do see in our weather patterns is if it's dry in one part of the country, it's pretty wet in the other part of the country. And so one of the graphics I do have is kind of a monsoon season percent of normal for the entire United States. And basically what we can see usually is, this year it was dry to the west and wet to the east. And so, it's just kind of one of those things that nature does where it's not average all across the country at the same time. It's above average someplace and below average other places.
Wow. And this year seemed really hot. Cottonwood saw triple digits for, I want to say, like 3-4 weeks in a row. And Flagstaff in the month of August was in the 90s on a regular basis. And just everybody it seemed like there was a 1 week window where you guys were putting out record every single day. Can you talk a little bit about that too? Because that was unusual.
Right. Yeah. So, as we talked about before with this year's monsoon season and the position of that high pressure being centered right over Arizona, not only does it preclude moisture from even coming in to the area, but it also is a much warmer air mass, and we have sinking air as well, which allows for heating. And Phoenix broke quite a few records as well. And so it was the entire state that experienced the record heat, and that's all because of the position of the high pressure being directly over Arizona versus what normally is during monsoon season, which is over northern Texas.
Wildfire season, it's still going. Typically by this time of year, we're not too concerned about it. We still have some fires burning, maybe some management fires here and there around the state that are being watched. But this year, it's not been the case. Typically, our people are fighting wildfires that are here, typically go into Oregon, Washington, and move up the West Coast with the wildfire season. But we've actually had to hold some of those resources back because of our lack of monsoon this year. How busy were you guys for wildfire season? There for a while, the whole state had flames across it on that INSA website.
Right, yeah. So it was a pretty busy year. But again, a benefit of the position of that high pressure was that the winds weren't so bad. So as far as fire starts and, the way that the behavior of the fire was, they were typically, they were burning very hot because the fuels were very dry. They're called plume dominated fires. So they can get out of control. But as far as management's concerned, the spread wasn't too bad later in the season because the winds weren't that bad either. So that's kind of, the interesting part of fire weather is, sure, it's hot and it's dry and fires can start, no problem. But as far as managing fires, a lot of acreage can be saved because it's not as windy like we see during the springtime.
Yeah, I guess a lot of our bigger fires were in the spring, and in the summer we've had plenty of fires, and there's still fires burning right now, and they're still stopping them all the time. But I guess it did slow down a little bit. We'll take our first break, Tony. National Weather Service Warning Coordination Meteorologist Tony Merriman is in studio with us today talking about spring, summer, and then we're going to look ahead to fall, winter as well. Weather.gov is the website. Stick around, countywide, back in just a couple minutes.
From inspiration to installation.
If you need help with your decorating plan, call the pros at the Picture Window. We are your #1 source for top quality blinds, shades, shutters, and flooring. We've been in business here for 41 years, and our delightful sales staff has decades of experience. We're the locally awarded Best of the Best in both Sedona and the Verde Valley.
Don't pass up a free estimate on your project. Call the Picture Window now.
Paul Stanley here with Stanley Steel Structures. We offer shade structures that provide style, value, and performance. Our Equinox louvered roof opens and closes to give you the ultimate patio experience. We also offer Alumawood shade covers that looks like wood but lasts like steel and never needs painting or maintenance. Visit us at StanleySteelStructures.com. Contact us today and be covered tomorrow. Stanley Steel Structures. Let us add some space to your place.
The EPA says C&B Construction ranks in the top 1% nationally. C&B Construction invites you to see what energy efficiency and indoor air quality can be. We have won another Department of Energy Innovation Award, and C&B Construction is the only contractor in the country to win 6 consecutive EPA Indoor Air Plus awards. Experience our zero-energy, move-in ready homes at Crossroads at Mingus.
C&B Construction, locally respected, nationally recognized. Find out more at C&B Homes.com.
This is Bruce Morrow, Transportation Manager for Cottonwood Area Transit. Remember, we cover the entire Verde Valley and Sedona. Cottonwood Area Transit has you covered wherever you want to ride in the Verde Valley, all day, every day. Take Cottonwood Area Transit through Clarkdale, Verde Village, and from 26 locations in Cottonwood. With Verde Links, it's a quick and easy trip to Sedona every day. Don't forget our connectors to Camp Verde. Visit cottonwoodaz.gov for Cottonwood Area Transit and take a seat. Let's go ride.
Welcome back to Countywide. National Weather Service's Tony Merriman in studio with us today. Weather.gov is the website. We're recapping the spring and summer. Today's the first day of fall. Not too bad start with the sprinkles and stuff going on. A little cloud cover, right, Tony?
Right, yeah. But
nice.
That, unfortunately, will be short-lived.
Yeah. Before the show, Tony says all it's going to do is make your car messy. That's all it's going to do. But
yeah.
I enjoyed waking up and driving down and having it rain on me a few times. You forget what the rain's like, but on the way to work today, so that was nice. Did we have any major, which I don't think we did, but maybe, any disasters in the state monsoon related?
As far as monsoon related, not really. It was a pretty quiet year as far as disasters are concerned. Now, in terms of long-term impacts, with the drought taking shape and everything like that, there's probably some agricultural impacts, but we don't have any numbers on that just yet. So that's kind of what we're looking at as far as main impacts for monsoon season.
Okay, so wait and see on that one. All right, and then drought status. Let's go ahead and drought status before we have you look into your weather crystal ball and tell us what fall and winter are going to be like. But drought status in the state. You showed us a map that came up, but it's pretty bad.
Right, yeah. So pretty much all the state is either in extreme drought or severe drought, and those are categories D2 or D3. And usually, the most extreme drought, it's called exceptional drought, which is D4. But as of right now, most of the state is in either severe or extreme drought. And, that's updated every week. And the state climatologists come together and assess the drought conditions in the state. So right now it's not looking too good as we head into fall, but we'll see what happens.
Something else that comes to mind is fire restrictions are typically lifted by now, but here we are in end of September almost, and we are still under stage 1 fire restrictions, which is unusual. Right,
yeah. So again, the fuels are very dry right now, and fires can start no problem. Just one careless spark, and that's all it takes. But again, the good thing is there isn't much wind to really spread the fire, but we just don't want the fires to start to begin with.
Yeah, the cooler temperatures are going to be a big help too. So let's look at fall and winter. Now, last year, after we had people were calling it the monsoon, and I've been hearing that this year too. We had the monsoon as well. But last year, winter kind of, if I remember right, I missed Thanksgiving at my folks' house, and I missed Christmas at my folks' house because of storms that were rolling through the state. So we had this kind of setup last year for monsoon. Are we seeing maybe a repeat of that this year? Because the forest needs a break. We need some rain and snow.
Right. Yeah. So again, with last year's upper pattern was a spring-like pattern, and then this year's upper pattern, we had the high pressure right over us. But looking into El Nino, La Nina conditions right now, it looks like we're heading into a weak La Nina pattern, and I believe we do have kind of a conceptual model graphic that we could show that shows typically what we expect during La Nina conditions, which is typically drier than average for the winter months during a weak La Nina. But looking back at previous weak La Nina episodes, the most recent one was 2016, 2017. And we were actually right at, if not just a little below average on precipitation during that winter season. So, that's kind of what we're looking at for this upcoming winter. And we'll see what happens.
Yeah, that graphic Ryan just put up shows it doesn't even touch the state. It's well above, with the storms traveling well above us.
Right, yeah. And so the key is this, it's called a variable polar jet stream. So the reason it's variable is, it can buckle a little farther south, and that's usually where we get our big winter events, is whenever that polar jet stream goes all the way down the west coast, and then it comes across Arizona. So again, that average jet stream, that's typically the case, but again, we can get big winter systems if that polar jet stream buckles just a little farther south.
Our winter comes out of the Pacific Northwest. Is that right?
Right. So for those cases, yeah, they'd come out of the Pacific Northwest. Typically for an El Nino winter, they're more tropical in nature, so they're warmer systems when it's more from the East Pacific. But if it's from the Northwest, we can get some cold air down here and good snow. So
give me an idea of what an average winter is, precip-wise.
Sure. So for Prescott, average winter is about 7 1/4 inches of liquid precipitation, and that's basically going from October through April is what we see those numbers. And during the 2016-17 winter season, we saw about 9 inches of liquid precipitation. So for the Flagstaff area that year, we saw 16 and a half liquid precipitation, and average is about 13 and a half liquid. So, it just depends on where the storms go and where they set up and just how cold the air mass is.
We're really hoping for a good winter. We have to have it. If we don't have it, the situation's going to be really much worse off than we are now.
Right. Yeah. So, with the drought the way it is, D2, D3, if we don't get any more, we really don't want to go into exceptional drought. And of course, the water supply, agricultural impacts, things like that, that's just bad all around. So, again, looking at a weak La Nina pattern developing for this winter, and we'll see what happens.
So weak La Nina means usually less precipitation. However, you mentioned that the last in 2016, we came out almost average. Temperature-wise, are we expecting warmer or cooler?
Right. So temperature-wise, it's pretty much been the case every winter for the past 10, 15 years. Odds tilted in favor of above normal temperatures. That's what that 3-month outlook is showing with the temperature. And you can kind of see where the Climate Prediction Center is expecting the polar jet stream to set up, over southeast Alaska into the northern plains. Usually wherever the jet stream sets up, you'll see below normal temperatures. And then where it's not, we'll typically see above normal temperatures. So right now, odds are tilted in favor of above normal temperatures for this coming winter.
And less precipitation. So beautiful sunshiny days, cool nights. Pretty much what we're having right now could last all winter long. So, wow.
Well, and so that's just an average during the whole winter. So again, you can still get some winter systems that come through, every now and again. So it's just, that's kind of the interesting thing about climate outlooks. It's just if I take the average during those 3 months, that's what it would be.
We should make it clear, this is a prediction, but over the years I've been doing this, I watch you guys get better and better every single year. Let's take our next break. National Weather Service Warning Coordinator, Meteorologist Tony Merriman in studio today. Weather.gov is the website. Countywide, we'll be back in just a couple minutes.
Orkin has pest control down to a science.
When your business chooses Orkin's Precision Protection Program, you get a tailored pest control program for your specific industry and environment.
Your business can benefit from over a century of experience, training, and scientific knowledge that define the Orkin man.
Maximum protection, minimum exposure, backed by one of the industry's most comprehensive guarantees.
Choose your locally owned and operated Northern Arizona Orkin and get more than an exterminator. Get an expert.
Award-winning Soundbites Grill is an entertainment restaurant located in Uptown Sedona at the Hyatt Pinion Point Resort. Open for lunch and dinner, featuring fresh fish, all-natural hand-cut beef, even a full vegan menu. Family-friendly, open 11:30 to 9. Late dining on Friday and Saturday. Soundbites Grill has some of the best views of the Sedona Red Rocks. Offers world-class entertainment, food, fun, and music.
Are you struggling to overcome an addiction, depression, insomnia, or a weight problem? Then it's time for you to meet with Dr. Elaine Kissel, award-winning, world-renowned hypnotherapist, author, and mind trainer. Now you can get her help from the privacy and comfort of your own home. Let Elaine Kissel create a personalized hypnotherapy plan to overcome your problem forever. Call 844-4KISSEL now for a discounted evaluation appointment. That's 844-4KISSEL.
So, I just moved in with this family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that! That's disgusting! Oh, poop already! You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
Welcome back to Countywide. We've got just a couple of minutes left with Tony Merriman from the National Weather Service in Flagstaff as we look back at spring and summer and ahead at fall and winter. How is Weather Service? You guys have been working pretty minor staff at the actual weather center in Belmont there for COVID-19. Are you guys still in that process, or are you coming out of it soon?
Yeah, so we're right now, it's called skeleton staffing. Basically, we just have a couple meteorologists there 24/7, 365, and the support staff, we've been working from home pretty much most of the time, and still working with our county partners through remote conferences, exactly how we're doing it right now. So we're still making those connections, but I haven't been able to go and visit our friends in Yavapai County in the last 6 months.
Yeah. Have you guys talked at all about when you might loosen this up and everyone's going to go back to work like normal, or?
Right. Yeah. So NOAA is pretty strict on, kind of looking at the local conditions. And so, you have different phases of reintegration, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. So, right now we're at phase 0. It's based off of Coconino County data and community spread. And so we're just going to be slow and deliberate in terms of returning, back to normal, whatever that's going to look like. And we're just basing our decisions off the data.
Yeah, that's all we can do, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's all we can do. Well, I'm hoping that next spring, that first day of spring, when Tony comes in, hopefully it'll be in studio and you'll be sitting right here and we'll be able to talk about spring-summer prediction next spring in person.
Yeah, no, that would be wonderful.
That would be really nice to get back to normal. Okay, Tony, thank you so much for joining us today. Tony Merriman, National Weather Service Warning Coordination Meteorologist. Again, the website is weather.gov. This is Countywide. As always, we thank you for watching and listening, and we'll talk to you again next time.